One of the most disturbing things took place in a wrestling ring over the weekend. It was at the Knokx Pro Wrestling event in LA that had been streamed on Kick. This was part of this thing that these streamers do, these so-called influencers. And Raja Jackson, the son of the UFC champion Rampage Jackson, showed up. And they were supposed to be working this thing. They was going to do this angle, but it became very real. And after giving him a double leg takedown to this wrestler who goes by, I guess his name's Psycho Stu, his name's Stuart Smith, he ended up punching him about 20 to 22 times, pummeling him. It's so many of these clips are surfacing online of this, and it's really just so disturbing. And it's one of those things you probably wouldn't want to watch it. It's pretty darn horrific, but it just really is disgusting. But by some miracle, though, that he is apparently in not too bad shape, in not too bad condition, is the guy Stuart Smith. By some miracle, because that it would have been enough for maybe 4 or 5 strikes to have killed the guy. And it's just very just disturbing, and just gives it's just a real black mark on the wrestling business. But it's just a horrific thing, and it's really just despicable, and there's no excuse for it. I mean, that kind of reaction, it would be like one thing of like he did that to somebody who had killed a family member of his, or it could have been like his girlfriend or wife had been sexually assaulted by some guy. But even then, I mean 20 to 22 times that he punched this guy, it was just inexcusable, just disgusting behavior, and it just horrible. And I mean, really, yeah, I mean, they should throw the book at this guy. He should go to be going to jail for a very long time. I don't know. Would it be civil? Would it be a criminal case? It could be both. I don't know. But it just really horrible, man. And the dad Rampage tried to come to his aid of the son, but from reading into more of this Rampage Jackson, I'd heard the name, but I don't really know much about him. He seems to be like a real controversial character, and has been real hot-headed, and has been embroiled in a lot of controversy over the years. So no real surprise that his young son would follow suit, I guess. But it's just horrible. I mean, like, there was the whole thing at the start was kind of weird, because it was like out of nowhere the guy like hits him with like a can of juice or something, and the guy no sells it. It was kind of weird. I don't know what the hell was going on. Like right away, like they were in on it. Like he was supposed to sell that Raja, but or it was just something that he just out of nowhere made it a thing to be in character. It was just the whole thing was just odd, but there was still no excuse for what ended up happening. There's no excuse for that whatsoever. But it just seemed very odd, and when you get into that like indie world, you do get some kind of these odd characters and these wrestlers on the card that almost treat it like it's real. But I don't know what the deal was with this guy. But even the thing with the can and then kind of laying his hands on him, kind of shoving him. But then again, Raja, later on you see them shaking hands and him explaining, look, it's all part of the show. This is just me working. And then he was like, I get it. But it's just weird, just disturbing, and it's just fucking messed up that why would this young kid just decide to throw his life away like that? I mean, in his head, does he not think there's not going to be ramifications? I mean, gee, it's like people can make all the excuses from the world that they want. They can say that people were riling them up and making comments on the stream or whatever. It's like, we're all responsible for our actions at the end of the day, and it's just disgusting, man. But it's messed up because it's like this promotion that's like a affiliate of WWE, or it was part of their Talent ID program, but I believe that's been pulled now after this event. I think it's something where like it's like this indie thing, and I think like Rikishi was a trainer, or Gangrel or something. But these indie shows can be, and I've been on, I haven't been on, I've watched, I've gone to, attended a couple of indie shows. here. And there is always a bit of an odd vibe around it, you know what I mean? Some of these ones, I imagine there's like some sketchy promoters, but it's just the whole thing was just it's just disturbing. It's fucked up, and it was just, yeah, it was horrific to see, man. And you know, it's just a shame because in the end it was like the referee really within the first 3 or 4 punches, the referee should have been on the guy. And I just feel it was maybe just a case the ref was too pussy to do anything about it. I'm sorry, but and then you did have kind of a guy that was kind of half-assed trying to pull him off, and then more guys came in from the back, and there was like maybe a guy that was kind of like pink in his hair. He seemed to do a good job of trying to pulling the guy off. I mean, after already 20 to 22 punches, but just really messed up, man. It's like, I don't know what it is with if you could say it's part of the streaming service that's not helped either. I mean, I don't know anything about this Kick streaming services, but it's maybe one of these things where a lot of people try and do these fucked up things and they get dared by their buddies to do these weird, disturbing things. But it's just it gives wrestling a bad name, and if you're a fan of it, it just makes you feel like people are going to look at you and think, well, why are you watching this shit? But at the same time, it's like this guy Raja. It's like, did he not understand the difference between a work and a shoot? When his dad's been in the wrestling business, and I believe he was in TNA, and Raja would have been maybe a young mid-teens around the time Rampage. His dad was in TNA, Impact Wrestling, but it's just, you still must have an understanding of the inner workings of wrestling before you're maybe kind of going into this thing and you don't quite understand it. People haven't smartened you up on it, but you should know better. And yeah, people might make excuses for this guy Raja because some wrestler said, oh, you got to get a receipt in. But come on, man, a receipt is like one stiff punch. Like when the guy's up on his feet, give him a stiff punch then. If he didn't like him having his hands on you, give him a stiff punch. You know what I mean? Preferably probably not one that knocks him to the ground, but a punch nonetheless. That's a receipt, one punch. Not fucking 22 punches. It just really is some disturbing shit right there. And yeah, so really prayers really go to this guy, Psycho Stu, Stuart Smith. I really hope he will recover. He'll be fine. I think a lot of people were thinking the worst that was going to come of this. So prayers to him and his family. I believe something about Mr. Beast is maybe looking into maybe trying to get pay medical bills, which is cool of him to do that. But it's just messed up. I mean, it really just is inexcusable what this guy did. Apparently, like, RVD is saying, so far I got Raja's back. Looking forward to talking about it tomorrow on my podcast. Like, kind of like baiting people in to talk about, to go and to watch your podcast about something that's so controversial and fucked up where someone almost lost their life. And that's pretty fucked up, RVD. I don't know if you've quite read the room on this one, and I really do think you've got it wrong, and you're probably the only one that's probably saying that, I've got Raja's back. That's kind of messed up, RVD. For somebody that was like got a name in the business, I kind of lose respect for that. Engagement farming, trying to, do a clickbaity kind of title like that. That's not the situation for it. But worker's gonna work, I guess, but it's the fucked up thing is like in this case here, what happened with Raja and Psycho Stu, like a work turns into a shoot, and it shouldn't happen. And this is a young kid, had the world to live for, top father with money, with celebrity. It's thrown his life away just because some guy punked him out because they thought they were working an angle, or he felt he was punked out. And it's just, he didn't have the balls to properly talk it out, confront him. And the messed up thing was they shouldn't have had those cameras there, really. Even when they're talking, like when they're supposedly working, and then afterwards where they're saying, oh no, look, it's all a work. This isn't real. That really the cameras need to go away at that point and let them have a proper conversation without thinking, oh shit, cameras are on. So it just all was all fucked up all around. I hope that the guy Stewart will be fine. But just a really horrific incident and one of the worst things to ever happen, really, in professional wrestling. It was horrible. But that's just my thoughts on that, guys. Feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what your thoughts were on this. And what do you think? I mean, it was obviously a horrific thing, but please, yeah, feel free to give your take on this, on what went down. But that's me for now, guys. Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye.